We got confirmed, guys. Bitcoin to $1 million, 2026, XRP, massive explosion on the horizon. I truly do believe so. But let's talk about the short term and what's going to happen with QE within this video. Please like if you guys are going to enjoy, and let us begin. So we called out for the scenario of, how the insiders are going to be front running the FOMC. It's going to be a buy the rumor and then you sell the news event. Exactly what just happened. We got huge developments for a huge development for XRP and Nasdaq chart, which something big is about to happen any minute now. It seemed like the FOMC was a trigger from Watch Guru. Breaking, Federal Reserve cuts interest rates by 25 basis points. Right, so this was given. Everyone knew that this was going to happen, guys, which is why the stock market was rising all throughout the weeks, right? Insiders were front running what? The outcome of this event. That's Nasdaq's chart. This is the S&P, Dow Jones. Someone said, look at the Russell 2000. It just created a new all-time high. All these insiders front ran today's events, folks. Guess what they just did on everyone's heads? Dumped. They sold on our heads. But we knew that this was going to happen, right? That was the most likely outcome. So another reason why we're dumping is because from Jim Cramer, people getting negative ahead of Fed meeting. He was bullish on it. Exactly the opposite happened. Fantastic to see. So everything is going according to plan. Stay calm. Why? As soon as XRP goes below this $2 level, it's game over. It's going to finally go for the kill and create the bottom and probably V-shaped recovery out of there. Okay, so any day now, it's going to die. Buy if you can. It's going to V-shaped have a V-shaped recovery out of the depths of hell when it does happen, right? Because it seems like it's extremely near, guys. Not to mention liquidity all throughout right there. One full swoop all the way back, right? Now, looking at Nasdaq, I think we truly did call it. Why? I knew it. Look how we called it. If you guys were following, okay, the past couple days, we talked about Nasdaq's chart, the stock market, because cryptos are acting very weird, but stocks are acting more. It's having a smooth out approach, right? Cryptos were just going up, down, up, down. Look at the stock market. What do we mention about the RSI? The RSI is probably going to stop the Nasdaq, into creating a new all-time high, which thus far it hasn't, right? And look at the RSI right here, guys. It's so close to crossing the yellow line on the RSI indicator. It's extremely close. Look at this, right? Very close. It's going to happen by tomorrow if it does dump a little bit more. Okay, each time this has happened, if you just look at the past, right, it has correlated with a dump, like each single time, guys. Okay, so is there about to be another dump, right, which correlates to XRP dumping, probably forms the bottom, and then creating these indexes will probably create new all-time highs, and cryptos will follow. Okay, so that's my short-term analysis on what I believe will be happening. Okay, a dump, the bottom, minimum a short-term bottom is created, and then we pump out of there. So now that we have that out of the way, be excited, right? Be extremely excited, because I am. Just listen to the charts, the data from bar chart. When the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates within 2% of stock market all-time highs, the S&P 500 has gone on to finish higher over the next 12 months. 20 out of 20 times, 100% hit rate. You guys see this? Short term, it may be a little bit shaky. Long term, give or take a year from now, stock market is going to be extremely in the green, which obviously if stocks are creating crazy heights, right, crazy gains, cryptos are like 10 times more volatile. You guys ready? So look at this, guys. Yes, the Fed has cut near all-time highs and bulls loved it. S&P 500 returns after the Federal Reserve cuts within 2% of all-time high. And they just cut right now, while all these stocks are within 2% of the all-time high. Okay, so every time this has happened, next month, it was shaky, right? We've seen a bunch of red and a bunch of green. Okay, and it's taking all these years, guys. Okay, literally from 1980 to now. And the next 3 months, much more green than red, even though there's a bit of red, okay, in certain years. The next 6 months, still, it seems like the next up to 6 months, maybe 9 months max, the stock market is very volatile. But then a year from now, right, a year from when they cut within 2% of all-time high, it's extremely green. Extremely green, guys. Right, so simple as 1, 2, 3, which it's never failed. Okay, and which means a year from now, we're going to be extremely in the green, guys, for the stock market, right? We got QE, they're cutting rates, everything is aligning. So here's the thing. If we were to dump coming weeks, whatever, coming days, you have to buy if you can, right? If you can't, obviously you just hold on for dear life, right, and not worry, because from here on out it's smooth sailing, right? There's going to be either there's going to be either a bottom being going to get created, or two bottoms, right? And then after, we're going to reach to probably double digits for XRP. Okay, so this should make you guys very excited, to say the least. Why? Whenever QE starts, Bitcoin goes absolutely parabolic. QT stopped. You know what's so funny? People are mentioning the Federal Reserve couldn't even wait until 2026 to begin QE. You know why? Because of the fact that the system can't handle, right? The system is literally addicted to printing, right? Artificially creating money out of thin air, US dollars. That's why they have never stopped printing, if you guys haven't realized. Because if they did, the system would then collapse, which means the next time they print an enormous amount due to a black swan event, probably Q1 of 2026, maybe Q1 for sure, they're going to print more than 2020's event. I forget how much they printed last time, maybe 9 trillion. This time it's going to be 3 times more, probably 30 trillion. Right? The bigger the better for risk on assets. Why? Because the dollar is going to die, right? Due to so much printing, people are going to flee from different assets into deflationary assets, which are cryptocurrencies. That's why Bitcoin does amazingly well during QE, quantitative easing, right? That's why XRP, now since XRP is let free, right? Aladdin is no more suppressing XRP. It's going to fully take advantage of this cycle with QE. So if this isn't making you very excited, nothing else will. Because every time we see QE start, okay, once, twice, there's only 2 times, okay, in our recent history that this has happened. Well, it's funny because Bitcoin came alive during this first QE cycle. And look at what Bitcoin did. Absolutely rampaged. Nobody could stop it. Then the next QE, okay, in 2020, Bitcoin went from $4,000, $3,000 all the way to $60,000, right? So it was like a 20x or so. Let's say this cycle we go 10x from when QE hits, starting now, right? Let's take the current price of Bitcoin, which is at $90,000. A 10x would take Bitcoin to $900,000 by end of 2026, which is about $1 million. You guys see this? That's everyone's target, by the way, right? I hope to God Bitcoin does hit. Imagine it actually did hit $1 million by like next year. that would be truly the most ballistic thing, because that means every altcoin known to mankind will go 1000x. I'm not kidding. Especially your like meme coins and S coins, right? That have extremely small market caps. If that's the case, XRP hopefully like higher 2 digits, right? So to be fair, the stage has truly been set, guys. Finally, it has, right? Now we just need that one trigger to let it spark, to let everything get lit on fire. The only reason the 4-year cycle made sense was because it coincided with the business and liquidity cycle, which hasn't even started yet. It's funny how it correlates with QE as well. Happened then and happened then. It started again here, right? It's going to ramp up, which means this is going to get a spike up again. Liquidity being poured in. Each single time this has happened, Bitcoin exploded all throughout here, right? The 2017 cycle, by the way, everything rampage crazy, right? 2020 cycle, you guys already know what happened. Things went ballistic again. We're in the cusp of this cycle, guys. The last phase of it. Okay, so this is where things truly get exciting. So summary of the Fed decision. Fed cuts rates by 25 basis points. They're going to keep cutting next year. Fed will consider extent and timing of additional adjustments. Federal Reserve will begin purchasing U.S. Treasury bills on December 12th. Federal Reserve will buy $40 billion of U.S. Treasury bills in 30 days. FOMC members, I think one Fed member was favoring a 50 basis point cut. Fed signals rate cuts may be done for now, and then Fed Chair Powell may be halting rate cuts again. President Trump says the Fed interest rate cut could have been doubled. Right? Trump wanted a 50 basis point cut today. But this is so beautiful, guys. Here's the game plan. They're restarting QE, okay? When Jerome Powell goes, right, leaves, gets out from being the Fed chair, Trump will have his own puppet in place. That's when everything unfolds, right? It will be all under Trump's term, guys, and he will be the trigger to making everything explode. And it'll all happen in the year 2026. For now, we're probably gonna dump, which we got the call thus far correct. Okay, so I'll be ready to buy if you could, and that's pretty much it. No, financial advice. Things are getting exciting now. Let's wait and prepare. But anyways, that's what face is. See ya.